deserve to get good service and great rates. At State Farm, we get it, and we're here to help because with every State Farm policy, you get good neighbor service and you get surprisingly great rates. So what are you waiting for? Get going and talk to a local State Farm agent about your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
When you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Susanna Nunn in Kernersville today. Walkertown Auto Sales. Look no further when shopping for your next vehicle. Located in the heart of the Triad at 3076 Walkertown View Drive in Walkertown, Walkertown Auto Sales specializes in affordable and reliable used cars, trucks, and SUVs. They offer financing with good credit, bad credit, or no credit, with interest rates as low as 3.9%. With knowledgeable employees that are always willing to go the extra mile, you'll drive away with the car of your dreams at Walkertown Auto Sales. Check out the entire online inventory now at walkertownautosales.com. Sedgefield Lawn and Landscape Supplies, your one-stop shop for your lawn. Family-owned, serving customers residential or commercial. Check out our large selection of mulch, pine needles, sand, gravel, grass seed, fertilizer, herbicides. They even do propane fill-ups. And if you're looking for lawn care equipment, you won't find a better spot in the Triad than Sedgefield Outdoor Equipment. Visit them today, 5111 Mackey Road in Jamestown, North Carolina. Give them a call at 336-26800 and follow them on Facebook.
Are you concerned that if you passed away today, that your family will be left in a financial bind? Are you concerned that your nest egg is quickly eroding in the stock market? Do you want life insurance but confused about how to get it and if you would qualify? That's where I come in. My name is Terry Edwards with Secure Financial Partners, and I've been helping families over the last 20 years ensure the things that matter most: your life, your health, and your wealth. Give me a call today, Terry Edwards, 336-416-8327. Again, that's 336-416-8327. 327. Your legacy is worth the call.
Welcome to Twin City Press Catering. Locally owned and operated, Twin City Press Catering will professionally manage and organize your events efficiently. Twin City uses fresh ingredients from local vendors for all types of special and corporate events. Currently taking catering orders, visit our sister company, Twin City Minis Facebook page for details. Or give us a call at 336-813-8002. Twin City Press Catering in Kernersville.
Pardon me, D-Dot here, and as the voice of the Greensboro Swarm, PA for the Hornets, and the sixth man of Carolina basketball, I do it all. Just like Beamer Tire and Auto. Alignments, new tires, NC State inspections, oil changes, they do it all. And with 3 locations in High Point, Greensboro, and Kernersville, B-Dot and B-Tar, yes, we do it all. If you need details, visit BeamerTire.com.
To everyone who appreciates a little Midwest nice, let our team member Jacob share how he brightens your day at Culver's.
Going the extra mile to put a smile on your face? That's what we love to do. So when I serve you a chicken sandwich made with the juiciest whole white meat chicken, I know it'll light up your day. A spicy, crispy chicken sandwich is seasoned to bring just the right amount of heat to every bite.
Let us make you a meal that makes your day. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Visit Culver's of Kernersville at 1780 Pecan Lane in Kernersville.
This is Sam Farber, radio play-by-play broadcaster for your Charlotte Hornets, and you're listening to The Rundown with Desmond Johnson on Tobacco Road Sports Radio on WWBG 1470 AM.
You're listening to...
Like to have everybody's attention for a moment.
There's a stat. I don't like bringing up stats, but there's one stat about the Panthers.
He's in the world is James Harden better scorer than Michael Jordan?
No, he's more creative in that.
Traveling is not creative, Brandon.
No matter what the score is, and they've said it themselves, whether they're up 10, down 20, whatever, they know they can turn it on whenever.
Why did you have to bring up the Cowboys in this conversation?
Lived in Texas for 2 years and just could not stand to watch Cowboys football.
All right, listen up.
Welcome to The Rundown. Here's Desmond Johnson.
And a busy Saturday here in the Triad. Welcome to The Rundown. I'm your host, Desmond Johnson, live every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. on WWBG 1470 AM, TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com. You can get the stream The YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Tobacco Road Sports Radio. Definitely go there, pound that subscribe button, trying to build up the subscription list over there where you can see the video of the rundown, plus all of our other sports talk programming throughout the week. Jaelen Gilkey from WFMY News 2 in the house with us. Checking in from points up north, Brandon Blakney in the house. Back with Tobacco Road, live with Brandon Blakney. New episodes will start here in the next week or two, if I'm not mistaken. So we got that on tap for you guys as well. Exclusive interview with newly hired North Carolina A&T head football coach Vincent Brown. Kicks off hour number 2 at 11 o'clock. Ryan Stone from the Franchise Players stops by to talk a little ACC hoops and the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets, they can't even tank right. Like they're trying. I don't know if they're trying to tank or they're just not good or what it is. But this would be the draft to try to tank when you've got not one but maybe 2 generational players at the top with Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson, who threw down a dunk. I think last week I saw on some highlights that kind of changed my opinion on. Well, I'd be okay getting the number 2 pick. If we get Scoot, that'd be just fine. So we're gonna get all that and more coming up here in just a bit. Of course, you can chime in on all the conversations we're having here, any hot takes, any kind of questions or anything you want to address to the panel, you can do so. Jaelen and Brandon will be here through the first hour. Gerald Mason, one of our super fans, checking in early this morning. What's up, Gerald? With everything going on right now with the Panthers coaching search, does Wilkes still have a shot at getting the interim tag taken off? We're actually going to talk about the Panthers coaching search at the bottom of hour number 1 here, so stick around, Gerald. We'll answer that question for you, hopefully, and we'll get into that because the Panther coaching list is getting even longer and longer. Before we do that, though, I wanted to get into a little NFL. We're going to talk NFL Wildcard weekend, get the predictions from Brandon and Jaelen on all the Wildcard games here in just a bit. But before we do that, there's a little bit of potential quarterback musical chairs going on in the NFL with some big names. And I know you guys are fans of some of these dudes, so I decided we originally were just going to talk Lamar Jackson. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, there's a couple other quarterbacks, too, that we need to probably look at in terms of best fit. So quarterback musical chairs kicking off rundown this morning. Again, you guys can chime in on any of the topics that we're talking about here this morning. And I'm going to kick it off with my man, Jalen's dude, Lamar Jackson, because apparently Lamar ain't playing this weekend. He ain't practicing over a month. How fractured is the relationship between Lamar and the Ravens in your mind? Because I know you're a Raven fan, so you're going to be in it deeper than the rest of us are. What are your thoughts? And y'all about to lose your boy, or what's going on? Because we circling around with Brinks trucks through random neighborhoods looking for quarterbacks down in Charlotte. And
yeah, brother, but I
just
like we
just fine down here. So what's the deal, Jaelen?
I see. Like I said last weekend. Ever since we had the discussion last
you might be on mute, Jaelen. Oh wait,
no,
I can hear you.
Yeah, there you go. I got you. That was me.
You got me now. All right, good.
Got it, the on button. Yeah.
like we discussed last week, man. And ever since we had this discussion, my social media has been infiltrated with more and more Panthers fans photoshopping my man into that 8.
Yeah.
Into that blue and black down there, man. I found it very interesting, right?
It's cold. It looks cold.
I mean, it looked all right, but I just don't see that being the right fit or the right situation. I know you guys are going to tell me it's not a lateral move team-wise, personnel-wise, but it really is. I mean, you guys' starting center is a guy that got traded from our team that didn't play center for us. So I don't know if that's a lateral move. Literally, the offensive line is still a working project. Yes, it was better than it was last year, but last year it was a bottom 3 offensive line in the entire league.
I would say the Panthers have a top 10 offensive line right now.
I don't know. I would say top 10 yet. I wouldn't say top 10 yet.
They were
because y'all were
180 yards a game.
They do got the franchise cornerstone at Icky too. They got a left tackle now.
They got a left tackle.
Side would be protected.
And
which I would give you that, right? Icky is going to be the future at left tackle for the Panthers.
They were averaging like
other than that, I don't know if coming to play behind a guy that didn't even get any reps in Baltimore is going to be attractive just because you got DJ Moore. You know,
sometimes location change is a good thing. Like I didn't know.
Do I think he'll be back with the Ravens? I think he's going to get tagged this year for sure because they worked out that Roquan deal. They worked out the Roquan thing, so he will be tagged this year.
You don't think that'll make him more upset about the situation?
I mean, he is a guy that's about his money.
Yeah,
and that tag gonna give you that money.
Yeah,
as long as you can. It's $43 million. It's the average of the top 3 salaries in the league.
That's fully guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed once you sign that tag for 1 year.
He wouldn't go like the Kirk Cousins route and just.
I think he might
tags,
because you can. I mean, there's already a formula proving that could get you paid.
Kirk Cousins is probably made.
Kirk Cousins got tagged twice in Washington, and then got 2 Mondo deals from.
Yeah, he's
from
had
Minnesota.
like over $200 million, like guaranteed at quarterback.
I mean, he had his best year this year, probably. Like
that is insane. Wow, and
That's
he
what
did
I'm
it.
saying.
He
So
did it.
if you- as long-
Yeah.
See, the only thing about that is, these last 2 years, Lamar has shown that durability could become an issue, right? And honestly, I would say this year, I think he's erring more on the side of caution than anything else. And I think he has so many things that he is concerned about, whether that be his contract, whether that be, do I even want to be here with this organization anymore? Do they want to keep me here? All of those type of things. I think those are swirling more in his head than the actual injury, and it's kind of giving him a little cause for pause. I can't blame him for that, though, because you being a one-of-one athlete and something that's never been really seen or duplicated before in the league,
yeah,
and not being at 100% where your natural ability is, your God-given talent is that your natural ability is another level, another 2 levels than anybody else in the league possesses. So if that brings you down to the level of everybody else, that makes I think he becomes, an average player when those abilities and that comfort and that confidence is taken from him. So if he's not going to be able to be 100% himself, then I understand why he's, nervous about getting out there and playing, especially with all the things that have come down the pipe. So, I mean, I have no real. I knew once he went down that it was probably going to be done with for the year, because once we started to find out it was a knee, and it was going to be something that is going to be something that there's a risk of re-injury or re-aggravation that could be detrimental. So,
he's only 20.
I see Miami. I see Las Vegas. I even see the Jets before I see Carolina.
I mean, that's my thing. That would be my ideal, because I know that Lamar is from Florida, but I think he's done in Baltimore regardless. I think the disrespect has been way too loud. I know the Ravens don't typically handle their business like your ordinary team, yada yada. We get that part, but look what the Packers did recently. Look what they came out and said, hey, we ain't ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is our guy. I don't know if the Ravens have come out and said that about Lamar, and not saying they have to, but it would reassure some things. If that's your guy, if that's your guy, you want people to know, hey, that's our guy. We're behind you, Lamar. I respect Lamar Jackson for looking out for himself. I think he's proven himself, though. I think this year, this was that year. It's like, hey, are we going to pay him? Like, he shouldn't have to go 1 year to 1 year to 1 year. They should have paid that man 2 years ago. Yep. They should have paid him after he won the MVP.
Yep.
Why are we even having this conversation?
And that's the sticking point. That's the sticking point. That's the sticking point with Lamar. I think in his camp, I would imagine, just like you see Deshaun Watson get $235 million guaranteed. The dude ain't played in 2 years and had all kinds of allegations against him. And a franchise was willing to give him that. Lamar's got to be thinking, well, there's got to be a franchise willing to give me 245, 250.
Miami would ship Tua right out of there or cut him. And if he goes to Miami, I think they got a potential dynasty, bro. That
would be pretty scary. Putting them out there with those wide receivers. They would be pretty scary. I'm still on the whole David Tepper, go find Lamar Jackson. If you were willing to pay Deshaun Watson, brother. If he was willing to pay Deshaun Watson, the only reason why Deshaun Watson's not in Charlotte is because they wouldn't guarantee the 3rd and 4th year of the deal.
And I think they would absolutely guarantee that for Lamar. Tepper will spend that bread. Yep. It's not an issue if the Panthers will go out and try to get him. They've been trying the past 3 years.
Yeah, they've been trying the past 3 years.
And I do think it's a better situation than Baltimore. I really do. To be honest with you, that's no bias. Because my love for the Panthers is kind of, since I left, I'm kind of up here with Bills Mafia right now. But
you with Panthers North.
Yeah, I'm with Panthers North. That's what it is, man. But I'm not saying the Panthers would be the best fit for Lamar system-wise or talent-wise. I'm not saying that. But I absolutely do feel like if it's money-driven, the Panthers will throw that bag at Lamar Jackson.
And the past is there. Like the the track record is there in terms of the Panthers going big game hunting in the offseason for quarterbacks the past 3 years. So there's no reason to assume they won't try to get Lamar Jackson if he's available.
Last year you called him Baker Mayfield. So
that was at the end. They were trying to get.
I mean, they didn't really have to pay him nothing. They didn't really have to pay him nothing.
Talk about big game hunting.
No, we were trying to sign Deshaun Watson last year. Baker was like the last resort at the very end.
It was Baker or Sam Darnold. At the time, Baker sounded a little more sexier vibes than Sam
and Matt
Darnold.
Corral broke his foot, so there was really wasn't much there. And even then, and we've talked about this before, the Panthers started off on a 1-5 hole, pretty much. Like in the division they were in, if they hadn't had Matt Rule at the beginning of the year, I feel like they would have won the division going away. They would have beat Tampa 2 weeks ago by double digits if they just had some cornerbacks. Like it's a matter of situation. But I'm glad those young guys got a chance to learn how to win football games. With Carolina, though, it's going to come down to who the coach is before we even know what they're going to do with the quarterback. If it's a Steve Wilkes or someone to that effect.
I saw they interviewed Gerard Mayo, too.
They did. Yeah, we got Panthers coaching search here at the bottom of the hour where they've added Gerard Mayo, the inside linebackers coach from the Patriots. They interviewed D'Amico Ryans from San Francisco, or they're about to interview D'Amico Ryans from San Francisco. They've put in a request. We'll go through the whole list. It really kind of depends on who the coach is, because if the coach is a defensive-minded kind of coach, Lamar Jackson fits you like a glove because you can run your run game. He's a better thrower than, say, a Cam Newton or one of your traditional running quarterbacks would be, or he doesn't get enough credit for the way he can throw the football. Right. And he would have some weapons here. He could just drop right into a division that's going to be in shambles because the next guy on this list is Tom Brady. Where is Tom Brady going to be next year? Regardless of what happens this year, say he wins the Super Bowl, say he gets put out on Monday by the Dallas Cowboys. What happens to Tom Brady next year? Because it's pretty clear he's probably not going to be in Tampa to start next year. Well, let me ask this. Does he retire?
I don't think so.
No, I think he's going to Las Vegas for sure.
Las Vegas.
His family or
San Francisco.
I thought San Francisco, unless Brock Purdy, pulls Tom Brady and
if Brock Purdy makes it to the Super Bowl, then there's no way they get off of.
You forget Trey Lance. Trey Lance is still that guy. We haven't seen him. We
haven't seen him.
No, Trey Lance. Trust me. Trey Lance is
Listen,
that
I hear
guy.
you.
He just got to stay healthy.
I'm sure you saw him in North Dakota or whatever, but I ain't seen him these days.
Y'all haven't seen.
The first 2 weeks wasn't good.
Y'all haven't really seen him, and I get that. And the NFL really hasn't seen him, and I get that. But look what Brock Purdy is doing with that offense. You could put Jake Delhomme in that offense right now, and it would hum.
Watch
I'm gonna be honest. You could put anybody in that offense at QB right now, and that thing would be humming.
Why you go after Jake like that, man? Why you get astray?
Because I got Bojangles on my mind, and I can't have it. And I'm thinking about Jake Delhomme in them commercials.
I mean, it wasn't really an impressive start. They lost to the Bears. They put up 7 points.
Yep. That offense was not offense.
Week 2, was the game. That was the game he got hurt. Oh, excuse me. No, he got hurt against Seattle. But week 2, they gave up 19. They scored 10 points against the Bears. 13-28.
Yeah,
it's a small sample size.
I mean, we'll see because I don't think they're going.
Yeah, that's all we got, man.
They don't need to give him up anytime soon. He's on a rookie deal, so we'll see. I can absolutely see Brady in San Francisco to finish his career.
But, I'm not a fan of season-ending surgeries back-to-back years.
I just don't see them bringing in another quarterback in San Francisco. It doesn't make sense.
They almost don't need to. It almost feels like they can win it all without one. It's weird.
Exactly.
But what about you're talking about Las Vegas, and there's going to be a vacancy there. How about the quarterback that was there, Derek Carr?
Oh, he's coming to Carolina.
Yes.
That's your quarterback, dude.
Michael just shove him off on us.
Man.
It's funny too because people want to
look. You always got all these big dreams and big ideas, and then you know what I'm saying. You get pulled back to reality, and you end up with Baker Mayfield, and Derek Carr.
I can't put Derek Carr.
I'm trying to prep you for that, brother.
I can't put Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield in the same room. Derek Carr is much better.
Say, hey, Brandon, he got to temper them expectations, man.
Never. I live in the land of my.
Hey, I love it. What do you say? You think it big.
But I wouldn't mind Derek Carr.
Into existence.
I mean, 9-year starter, 35,000 yards passing. I mean, He's averaged about 3,800 yards a season. He played for the Raiders. Like, the Raiders are one of the most dysfunctional franchises in the NFL.
They made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
They made the playoffs last year.
I
I
wanna
thought
know
they would
what
take
happened.
another step.
I want to know
I mean,
what
they
happened.
added Devontae Adams. You think they would take that next step?
That's his
but
boy. That's why he signed. That's why I'm
college
like, so why
teammate.
they cut him
Yeah.
hard? So I don't know.
I think Derek Carr goes to the New York Jets. I think they either get him or Jimmy G. I think Derek Carr to the Jets is they would be set.
I could see Jimmy, or not Jimmy. I could see Derek Carr with the Jets. He could just plop right in, and if they get some more skill pieces on the offense, that Jets.
I mean,
team,
they're really loaded right now. They're a quarterback away from winning like 12 games.
I was going to put Zach Wilson on this list, but I'm not really
He might
sure.
be your quarterback. He might be your guy too.
Nah, we don't want him.
Hey man, if anybody would do it, the Panthers would give Jack
It's
Wilson
not about
a shot,
who
though.
you want, Des. It's about who wants you.
We don't want that.
They would fool around and give Zach Wilson a shot. I really think.
Yeah, they would. You know they would.
Matt Rule is not here anymore. He's gone.
Doesn't matter,
we don't do the foolishness anymore. Like, we ain't with that.
Brother,
no more.
y'all been foolish. Y'all been foolish way before Matt Rule, brother. Let's be real.
Willie Smith, who's a believing Panther super fan, checking in with us this morning. What's up, Willie? No more reclamation quarterbacks. Wilkes will draft Anthony Richardson. Richardson's an interesting prospect.
Be there.
But do we have time to wait for him to develop too? Because he's not going to start year one.
You sign Darnold to a year contract. He's on. I mean, the whole quarterback room is cleared out for Carolina because Baker's already gone. Sam was on a 1 year deal, 2-year deal, whatever it was, or extension. That's over. Matt Corral's on a rookie deal. He's coming back off a broken foot, so we don't know what we got from that. The kid from Ole Miss that they drafted last year. I wouldn't mind taking a shot on Anthony Richardson. I put this up though. I would rather the Panthers stay put at 9. Get the best defensive player they can find, because I'd rather them build an elite defense than press their luck with one of the quarterbacks in this draft and put their whole franchise on a CJ Stroud or a 5'10" Bryce Young or whatever. How about you stay at 9, get the best pass rusher or linebacker, whoever's there.
Go get Zach Wilson.
Try
that out.
No. You draft, you go, you pull, or you trade down from 9, pick up some extra picks, and then trade back up to the top of the second and go get my boy Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee.
That's what I said, man. Still in the draft. I think if you're going to wait and develop a QB,
I like that.
You might as well wait and grab him.
Hooker's 25 right now, but he's coming off of an ACL tear or whatnot. He's going to need a year to rehab. Put him behind, have Darnold start. Put him behind Darnold. Let him learn. Keep the run game going.
You done kicked Matt Corral to the curb already.
Well, I don't know what Matt Corral is. Like, I'm not going to go the Trey Lance route and pretend like he's going to be. I don't know. I have no idea. I've not seen him throw, but like
Trey
5
Lance
times.
was a top 5 pick, though. Let's not put him in Matt Corral.
They might have forced it.
Sam Darnold
was not a top 5 pick.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
He was like number
top 5.
He was the second pick of the draft.
Sam Darnold.
Baker Mayfield went number 1 in that draft.
He went Baker than Sam Darnold.
Yeah, so that whole top thing means nothing to me.
Ain't no way Sam Darnold was second in the
yes,
draft.
sir. Out of USC. And then the last guy I got on here is Mr. Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay. And I thought about it more and more. For him, I don't think it's going to another team. It's either he retires or comes back to Green Bay, because as Brandon just saw that Sam Darnold got picked.
That's crazy to me. I'm mind blown.
That draft reminds me of this draft where you're forcing 3 or 4 quarterbacks towards the top because there's only 3 or 4 quarterbacks.
Number 32 of that draft, Lamar Jackson.
We drafted DJ Moore right before.
Somebody's gonna draft Will Levis and be set back for a decade. I'm telling you.
It's gonna be Carolina.
Probably Carolina. I think Tepper, it got put out there. He kind of liked Will Levis. There was some kind of social media video out there with him with his quick release, like throwing it like a video game, almost like hitting video people everywhere. You can't tell if it's been doctored or not. I didn't watch him at all last year.
They go 6-5 this year.
Bro, he didn't throw for 200 yards in maybe 1 or 2 SEC games. Like,
out of all the quarterbacks, Richardson out of Florida and Hooker are the ones that intrigue me the most because we don't have to go up. And that's another. I said it on the Believe in Panther podcast earlier this week, and I'll probably keep saying it each week until the draft. Those out there that keep trying to drum up this whole Panthers trading up with the Bears nonsense need to stop it, because it makes no sense. If the Panthers are going to trade their collateral they got for CMC and Robbie Anderson and all these guys, they got 9 draft picks right now. If they were going to use that to trade up in the draft, why the hell were they trying to win football games in October and November? They could have just stayed at the 5th spot or the 3rd spot to begin with and kept all their picks. You're trying to tell me they just try to do all this to win football games, and now they're going to give up all their picks for 1 pick at the top that might be CJ Stroud. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. The ones that are making that accusation need to stop or not do what they do for employment anymore, because it makes no sense. And it's like they're not following the team and what the team is trying to do. So for those folks saying,
you got those guys, and then they got you in Neverland, brother.
at least I'm being realistic. I'm like, okay,
are you?
Hey, that Zach Wilson thing ain't
still
too
stuck on the
far
Lamar
off,
thing.
though.
You still stuck on the Lamar thing. You mad? I'm trying to go after your boy. I'm trying to steal your boy out of here.
Fairy tale land, brother.
Frustrated about that. Aaron Rodgers, though, he's owed $60 million next year. Is my man coming back, or is he not? He's sitting there, twiddling his thumbs. But I think we all know he's coming back for that last bag, right? Like,
got to.
Why wouldn't he?
60 out there? That's crazy.
That's
bad business.
You can go stink it up and still get the $60
That's
million.
bad business.
So he might not have his heart in anymore, but whoever he's dating right now, or his wife, whoever he's married to, is probably like, hey, remember you did this 2-year thing? This is year 2. That's $60 million for 17 games, which is going to make this happen.
The Packers really aren't terrible. Like, they was banged up. They could address some issues in the draft. They came on. Christian Watson's gonna be a superstar. I know y'all think I'm biased on these North Dakota guys.
I like Watson,
but I'm telling you, man,
I like him.
Yeah, no, he was good. No, the young, and that really, if
why I like him, Brandon, because he be on the field playing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He's actually out there.
Yeah, I mean,
Give Rodgers an offseason with these wide receivers and get him another one in this draft, and Green Bay could be dangerous. That division can be had too.
Chris Worthy, Jordan Addison a lot.
Ooh, that would actually be a pretty good fit for him. Chris Worthy says, bring Jadeveon Clowney home and put him on the other side of Burns. That thought has crossed my mind, Chris Worthy, because apparently Jadeveon is done in Cleveland. They made him.
I mean, it was fun when he was in Cleveland,
that first year.
Myles Garrett, But I don't know if I was thinking about this the other day when the whole situation broke and they had leaked some of the audio from, I'm talking to Myles Garrett. And I was very just disheartened with the path that Jadeveon Clowney's career took. He was so dominant in South Carolina, unstoppable.
He's who we thought Aaron Donald was. Like, we thought he was
that hit in that Michigan
Donald.
game set him up. He's one of the first ones that really rode the viral type way, like the viral highlight type wave to kind of build your name bigger than what maybe you might have should have been.
Mm-hmm.
That hit on Michigan.
His high school tape was so crazy too.
Oh yeah,
he was like Zion Williamson.
So crazy.
Yeah. Nuts.
And then he's just kind of floated around a little bit. I would love to have him in Carolina. I mean, he's from South Carolina, so I mean that'd be fantastic.
But him opposite of Burns, I don't know if this is gonna work, because him opposite of Myles Garrett, who's a better player than Burns, didn't really work.
I mean, it worked that first year. It worked
that 1 year. You're right.
You have Derek Brown in the middle too, and then of course it'd be a defensive. Well, it depends on who the coach is. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hop into this Panthers coaching search, because we've got folks that are viewing that are actually putting in input on that. So if you've got an input while we're in this commercial break, if you're watching or listening right now on YouTube or Facebook Watch or Twitter, if you've got a coaching prospect that you're leaning towards in the Panthers search right now, give it to us here and we'll respond to it. We'll get into all this. We'll get into Steve Wilkes' odds. We'll get into everybody else they've interviewed. I'll give you my theory on what exactly is going on. And more. We'll be back in just a bit. You'll listen to The Rundown, WWBG 1470 AM and TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
You're listening to The Rundown with Desmond Johnson.
It's game time. Brother Cluckers has you covered. Check out the Clucking Football Feeding Frenzy for $5 deal. 25 fried chicken tenders, 2 jumbo sides, and 1 gallon of sweet or unsweetened tea for only $39.99. Special only valid via online ordering. Just visit brother-cluckers.com to place your order and enjoy the games. Brother Cluckers, located in front of the Food Line Shopping Center at 1547 Union Cross Road in Kernersville. Brother Cluckers.
Hey, y'all, Chinese Mobile Auto. Is your car broke down? Are you stuck somewhere? Do you need a mechanic? You don't want to call a tow truck? Call Chinese Mobile Auto. He'll come out to you, do your work, whatever you need done, your regular maintenance, or if you broke down on the side of the road, give him a call. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call 336-423-6241. You don't even have to see me. Just let me know what's wrong with your car, and I will come and fix it, y'all. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, I'm on the Twitters, whatever you guys need, 336-423-6241. As always, I'll be seeing you.
Welcome to Twin City Press Catering. Locally owned and operated, Twin City Press Catering will professionally manage and organize your events efficiently. Twin City uses fresh ingredients from local vendors for all types of special and corporate events. currently taking catering orders, visit our sister company, Twin City Minis Facebook page for details. Or give us a call at 336-813-8002. Twin City Press Catering in Kernersville.
Hey, Pops, where you want to go eat tonight?
I'm going to go get me some good Southern cooking at Ball Brothers down by the airport in Winston.
No, Pops, it's Bell Brothers, and they closed years ago. It's Taste of the Triad now.
Taste of the Triad? Is it in the old Ball Brothers building?
Yup.
Can I still get baked chicken and collard greens?
Sure can.
How about neck bones, meatloaf, and pork chops?
Taste of the Triad has all that.
So they ain't got pinto beans, tater salad, mac and cheese, or fried okra?
Pops, they have all that, plus homemade cakes and cobblers and sweet potato pie.
Well, then I don't care what they call it. Let's go eat.
Taste of the Triad. Open daily for lunch with $5.99 specials from 11 to 2 and chef specials daily. Don't miss the Saturday brunch from 9 to 1 and the soulful Sunday dinner when you come out of church full of the word, but hungry for Southern comfort food. Taste of the Triad in the old Bell Brothers building at Old Walkertown Road and North Liberty in Winston-Salem.
That's good Southern cooking.
Walkertown Auto Sales. Look no further when shopping for your next vehicle. Located in the heart of the Triad at 3076 Walkertown View Drive in Walkertown, Walkertown Auto Sales specializes in affordable and reliable used cars, trucks, and SUVs. They offer financing with good credit, bad credit, or no credit, with interest rates as low as 3.9%. With knowledgeable employees that are always willing to go the extra mile, you'll drive away with the car of your dreams at Walkertown Auto Sales. Check out the entire online inventory now at walkertownautosales.com. Hey, Panther fans, right now on the SiriusXM app, hear the most in-depth Carolina Panthers coverage anywhere with Believe in Carolina Panthers, part of the Believe podcast network on SiriusXM. Hear from me, Desmond Johnson, and my co-host, Skylar Callahan from Sports Illustrated, and Panther great Jonathan Stewart as we break down the Panthers before and after every game through the NFL season. Your team, your podcast. Search BLEAV in Carolina Panthers on the SiriusXM app, Pandora, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Do you believe?
This is Terry Rozier, and you're listening to The Rundown with Desmond Johnson on Tobacco Road Sports Radio on WWBG 1470 AM.
Welcome back into the Rundown, WWBG 1470 AM. Locked and loaded every Saturday morning live, 10 a.m., the longest sports talk panel running show in the Triad. We've been on, this is our fifth year. We had our fifth season premiere last week. Shout out to WSJS, where we originally started. And now shout out to the fine folks over at Southern Broadcasting Media, who we've partnered with on a variety of different projects with Tobacco Road. So shout out to Bob Scarborough and all those guys over there. Jaelen, Gilkey, Brandon, Blakney in the house. Panthers coaching search, and we've got folks online. Appreciate everybody watching us on YouTube and Facebook Watch with their opinions on this. The Panthers coaching search, Scott Fitter, the general manager, said on Monday this was going to be a short list, and every day since then he has added like 3 candidates to this list to interview. I don't even know what they're up to at this point, but they've put a lot of coaching inquiries out there, which I'm fine with. Don't just interview 3 dudes and then go hire Steve Wilks. If you really want to find out what's out there, go interview 20 people. And if it's still Steve Wilks is the dude, then you know you made the right choice. So I know a majority, I feel, are in the Steve Wilks boat. They want Steve Wilks. Willie Smith says Wilks made this team appealing. This is his team. If Tepper brings another coach in here, he's setting the team back at least 2 years. I do agree with that. I originally wanted Jim Harbaugh when the season started, but that was when Matt Rule was
like gimmicks.
No, Jim Harbaugh is a damn good coach. Like, he's a 75% winner in the NFL. Like, he went to
Brother,
2 Super Bowl,
he jumped up.
games.
I mean, his defense was already
It was already there.
best of all time. So, I mean, let's figure it out.
It's the same situation in Carolina, though. He'd be literally dropping into a team that's has first round
same
pick.
as that.
Yeah,
Ain't no Patrick Willis running around out there. I'll tell you that.
Well, there ain't no Patrick Willis out there, but you got
ain't no
Brian Burns on the
Kuechly
line. You got Brian Burns on the line. You got a Derek Brown on the line. You got a Jeremy Chin. You got a J.C. Horn, who's a top 5 cornerback in my opinion. You got a Dante. He's got pieces. There's pieces. Shaq Thompson.
Yeah, there's
on that
pieces.
defense, and you put Harbaugh on that.
It's the same situation when he got to San Francisco. Because in San Francisco, the 3-4 years before he got there, hear me out, Jaelen, hear me out. The 3-4 years before he got there,
you putting a lot more stock into your roster than I think a lot of, but it's cool. I respect it.
Just hear me out. San Francisco was the same way before he got there. The 3-4 years before he got there, they could not win more than 7 games. Remember Mike Singletary? I need winners. Can't win without him. That was that squad. They kept drafting first-round picks every year. So their offensive line and their defensive line had nothing but first and second-round picks on it pretty much by the time Harbaugh came in. Soon as Harbaugh comes in, he takes them to 12-4 in an NFC Championship game because it just changed the mentality of what they were doing. But what he does is what the Panthers do. He wants to run the football. He wants to stop the run. He wants big, huge, beefy dudes on both sides of the line to control the line of scrimmage. That's what they've been building for the past 3 years here. Like it's right here. They just need a driver. So I wanted Harbaugh. But then Steve Wilks came along. And when Steve Wilks came along, I know, dude, like when he got here, I'm like, yo, if something happens with Matt Rule, he is the break in case of emergency guy on this staff. That's why he's here. He's got head coaching experience. He's Panthers fabric. He was defense coordinator for 5 years during their peak with Kuechly and all them boys, the 2015 run. Steve Wilks was the defensive coordinator. So, like, he understood it, and you could see the team flip. Like, this is a completely different team than it was the first month of the year where they're actually out there playing, like, hard. Like, it got to a point, I've been done the Believe in Panthers podcast for 3 years now. And this was the first year by the end of the season, I was optimistic about the next year. I wasn't like down like, and this was the first year where in the middle of the season, we weren't struggling to do episodes because it got to a point where the Panthers were doing the same thing every week. They'd play close. Rules teams didn't really get blown out. They just couldn't get over the hump and win games. They'd lose the last minute field goal. They'd lose one possession.
Unless they play the Giants.
Or they couldn't close games.
They couldn't close games. And then Rule would get on the podium and do a bunch of word salad. And then all of a sudden say, well, we just got to figure out how to get over the hump. Get over the hump. That's all we got to do. Steve Wilks figured out how to get over the hump in 2 weeks with his team. And like, if he had got the quarterback that he wanted and it was his roster, I think they win the South this year. But he didn't get that. It was somebody else's roster, somebody else's coaching staff. And he still was able to go 500 with it. So, I mean, I think he deserves the shot. I think he deserves an offseason with Scott Fitterer for them to figure out the quarterback situation and let that man finally go build his own defense. Like, let him build an elite defense in Charlotte with the way this division is. Tom Brady's 45. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be for Atlanta.
I mean, you're not scared of Desmond Ritter. That's the thing.
No.
He's not putting fear in nobody.
And then New Orleans, I'm not sure what's happening there either at quarterback. Like, the whole division is in flux, and Carolina is in the best position because of the mistakes of Matt Rule, really. The one thing he did well was draft. So the past 3 years, they've just been putting talent on the roster. They cleared out the whole defense.
So what y'all going to do when Drew Lock y'all quarterback next year, Des?
It ain't going to be Drew Lock.
What you going to do then?
You're still thinking as if Matt Rule is running this organization. My man is in Nebraska. My man is in Nebraska right now.
He need to go recruit Drew Lock to Nebraska.
Like, he ain't got nothing to do with nothing no more. Like Jarrell Mason says, if Wilks doesn't get the head coaching gig, I would go with Ken Dorsey since he was the Panthers OC. He knows the culture.
No.
I feel like with current and former Panthers endorsing Wilks, Tepper can't ignore it. Dorsey, if they don't get Wilks,
coordinator, man.
yeah.
He's not good. No.
He's up in Panthers North right now. And if you look at the Bills, I said this to Jay Stu the other day. If you look at the Bills today are what we as Panther fans had hoped the Panthers were going to continue to be after 2015.
Yeah. I say that to people up here, the Bills fans. They're exactly
they took
the
all
same
of our
team.
people. They took Sean McDermott was the defensive coordinator here before Wilks, and he's the head coach. Josh Allen is basically Cam Newton with a better accurate arm. The offense is pretty much what we were running.
That much accurate, to be honest with you.
He's a little loose here and there. Yeah, I'll give him that. But he's built pretty much the same way, plays the game pretty much the same way as Cam. The team is built around him the same way it was here. He's got some weapons. The defense is stout. They're always top 5. The Brandon Beans in their front office. I think Dan Morgan was up there for a little bit. It's Panthers North. Some of their players on the roster came off 2015 Carolina. Like, it feels like Carolina suffered because of it, because those dudes should have been in our front office. They should have been doing this stuff with us, and we've just kind of farted along for 5 years trying to figure this out with an owner that didn't understand the culture. I think he understands the culture now after what happened this year, watching Wilks and the fans come back, because the game that got Rule fired was the San Francisco game here at home, where the whole stadium was red. Like, they took over Bank of America Stadium, and we were all watching it, and I was like, you know what, that might be it for Matt Rule. And about 12 hours later, they just dropped the hammer on him. And I was like, we ain't surprised at all that that happened. Yes, Willie McDermott is part of the Rivera tree, as is Steve Wilkes. And my man Rivera gets a bad rap because people are like, oh, well, he went 500 with Washington. Have you seen the front office for the Washington Commanders and what they've been going through this year? The stuff that they've had inflicted on
I don't think
themselves.
your boy knew they weren't eliminated from the playoffs week 17. So
that part, I don't know how he didn't know that.
That was crazy.
He got caught up. But yeah, he didn't he didn't know that apparently.
If they get a good quarterback, they're stacked with young talent. They got the best defense in the NFC East, to be honest with you. If they get a quarterback, they'll be straight.
See, I can see Washington trading up. See, that makes sense. I can see them trading up to go try to get a quarterback because Carson Wentz
or they could get Derek Carr and then y'all will be
or Jimmy G, Derek Carr. I can see that for them.
I can see that for them. That's something interesting there. But here's the Panthers coaching search. For those that don't know, we'll get you caught up real quick on everyone that they've either interviewed or they're about to interview. And if I'm not mistaken, they've already fulfilled the Rooney Rule where they have to interview 2 external minority candidates. So Steve Wilkes doesn't count in that count. Steve Wilkes was interviewed January 10th. He's vast NFL experience. Only head coaching position was 2018 in Arizona. They only gave him 1 year, and then they let him go.
But Cliff Kingsbury, who's been fired
himself, and I keep seeing him pop up for offensive coordinator. I'm like, what?
No, I think he could solve a lot of our problems out of Baltimore.
He wasn't even good at Texas Tech. He just had passes.
He can solve a lot of our problems in Baltimore. I think, honestly.
Jim Caldwell got interviewed around this area. People might recognize that name. Former head coach for Wake Forest back in the day. Head coach for the Detroit Lions. Head coach for the Colts. My man's also near 70 years old, so I'm not sure how valid that one might be. Frank Wright, interesting one, was coach of the Colts past 4 years. He's already interviewed. He was a former quarterback here. He played quarterback here at Carolina. If they're going to try to sell that whole, he's part of the fabric, blah, blah, blah. Real fans ain't going to buy that because he was only here for like a year or so. Same for another one that's on this list a little bit further down, but he's on here. Shane Steichen, Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator. He's kind of like the hot guy right now. The Panthers have interviewed pretty much every offensive coordinator in the NFL under the age of 45.
Is Eric Bieniemy not on that list?
He is not for the Panthers, as far as I know. Now, this might change. Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, and Lions fans do not want to lose him, so they're adamant online about please don't interview Ben Johnson. Ken Dorsey, who we mentioned, Panthers quarterback coach, 2013 through 17 with Cam. He's currently
Ken Dorsey though. I feel like you might as well throw Byron Leftwich in there if we mention Ken Dorsey.
I don't trust Dorsey as a head coach. See, that's the difference. See, people want this offensive head coach, and I'm like, you don't need an offensive head coach. You just need a good offensive coordinator. Like a coordinator and a head coach are two different things. A head coach has to be a leader of men. Like you have to have the whole team follow you and not talk about you when you're not in the room. Like they have to respect you. As a coordinator, you just need your people to respect you. Like you just need the wide receivers and the quarterbacks all on the same page and run the right routes, do that thing. The head coach has got to make sure people in the right spots, all this extra stuff. And it takes a talent to be able to do that. Wilkes is the only one on this list that's really shown that he can do that. And to a degree, Frank Wright. Mike Kafka, he's been requested. He's the Giants coordinator. Kellen Moore, the Cowboys offensive coordinator for the past 4 years. D'Amico Ryans. Actually, it says that interview has been canceled. That's interesting because that just changed. I'm wondering if D'Amico is going to Denver or someplace. You heard it here first. That interview has been canceled. So the Panthers will not be interviewing D'Amico Ryans, the hot defensive coordinator for the 49ers. Gerard Mayo, interview's still been requested. He's the inside linebackers coach for the Patriots. That's the last one I've seen so far.
I feel like he just got extended. He just signed an extension with New England, I do believe.
Oh, I did see that they were talking to him about that. It was going to be a big, huge one too. So Gerard's probably off of there. But even if they interview him, that'll satisfy the request between him and Caldwell for the Rooney Rule. I think what they were doing, or what they are doing, is gauging the interest of these offensive coordinators to come on as an assistant head coach / offensive coordinator in Carolina with Wilkes. And Wilkes apparently had given them some sort of offensive plan going forward if he's the next head coach. So he's got in mind what he'd want to do. I did not know this till last week. Wilkes and Pep Hamilton grew up 5 doors down from each other in Charlotte. They both went to West Charlotte together. They're good friends. Pep just got let go from Houston, I think it was. And he was interviewed last year for the offensive coordinator position in Carolina. He turned it down because at the time, the coaches in the league knew that Matt Rule was a lame duck. They didn't want to come in and not know if they were going to keep their jobs if Rule got fired a month into the year, and that's exactly what happened. And he stayed in Houston. I thought he would stay there with them getting a quarterback or something with the top pick of the draft, but they're clearing all that out. So Pep is available. He's out there. I wouldn't mind if they could figure out a way to bring a Ken Dorsey back home or something and be offensive coordinator / assistant head coach. Cool. I'm fine with that. But these other ones, I don't see how David Tepper can sell this to the Panthers public that he's hired Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator, instead of Steve Wilks. Too many players have come out and said that they support Wilks, former and current. Like Jay Stu said, NFL players don't really put their voices out there like that for a coach or a player unless they adamantly feel that way. They're not going to lie just to create a soundbite. That's not what NFL players do. And you got Thomas Davis and Jake Delhomme on the radio and Jonathan Stewart and all these former players, Steve Smith, they've all come out and be like, Steve Wilks is the guy. Like, Steve Wilks is the guy to build this thing the way you want it built, David Tepper. I don't think he'll go after an offensive coordinator, one of these young guys, and plop him in there. I would hope he learned his lesson from before and not go after the hot, shiny toy. But
stop it, man.
We'll see.
Man's got $100 billion. You don't think he's going to try to buy a Ferrari every time?
He don't know what to do with it.
He's going to buy a Ferrari every time.
It's like 14 million. You know, it's not that much. But with the coach, though, another thing too, Harbaugh is out because Harbaugh wants control over the roster. And Tepper has made it very clear that the biggest mistake he made with Rule was that he gave him control over the roster, pretty much ultimate control over the roster, final say. Scott Fitterer isn't going anywhere. He's involved in this coaching search. So if there's a general manager here, we learned last week Harbaugh wasn't contacted by the Panthers. His people contacted the Panthers to engage interest in that job. But right before that Michigan stuff started coming out about him buying the hamburger for the kid or whatever, he's going to get suspended or whatever's going on over there. He apparently called the Panthers to find out what was up, and it was a short call, and they don't have him on this list to interview. So that tells me that he inquired. Is Fitterer going to still be there? Oh, he is? Oh, okay. Thank you for your time. And that was it. So Harbaugh's not really out there unless he can get control of the roster. Maybe Denver or who else is out there? Houston, a couple of ones that are out there.
Yeah.
Maybe. If you had out of those, Brandon, who would you say would be the best fit?
As far as coaching wise?
Yeah, for the Panthers.
I think you go with Wilks. And like you said, I wouldn't be mad at like a young Ken Dorsey as an offensive coordinator. I wouldn't be mad at that. He's doing solid with the Bills. If they can go get Pep too, I mean, that chemistry, when you're sometimes friends and work don't mix, but when you actually are friends and you care about somebody and y'all both genuinely want to see each other succeed, that does work. And it's a level of comfortability there. So yeah, I think Wilks is absolutely the guy though. Why? I mean, you don't need to set the team back 2 years. They've been vocal. The culture has been vocal. The fans have been vocal. Like, we want Wilks.
Mm-hmm. We've been like this since week 7, I think, where we've been like
once they actually start winning games. Well, they won 2 games in a row this year, and everybody said he's the guy.
He won 6 games total out of 12, with 3 different starting quarterbacks, none of whom he picked. And a run game that was, when they won, they were running for 190 plus down your throat, and they didn't try to hide it or nothing. I love that. Like, I don't want the trick plays. Deonta Foreman and Chuba Hubbard started going off in the offensive line, led by Bradley Bozeman, who was actually my team MVP this year. Because when he came in, the whole offensive line just changed. I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know what happened, but them boys started running. And again, that Tampa game 2 weeks ago, if J.C. Horn or Dante Jackson had played, Carolina wins that game. They were leading double digits, top of the 4th or start of the 4th, and Tampa couldn't do anything. Tom Brady had 3 long pass plays to Mike Evans where your boy Keith Taylor got burnt for toast. Like, I mean, just couldn't cover Mike Evans for 3 plays, and that was the difference. I mean, but if we had somebody to cover Mike Evans, we're probably talking playoffs right now. So I got to get Wilks.
Said it was 3 plays. Mike Evans had 310 yards.
Yeah, and on 3 of those plays was like 190 yards of it. Like, he had a 65-yarder, a 70-yarder, and like a 35.
It's like, bro, underestimating his speed.
I'm not exaggerating this. This is what happened. My man got free 3 times and killed us. Like, because each time we're like, where's the defender? Like, there's no over the top. Where's everybody? And And Wilkes, to his credit, came to the podium and was like, that was on me because we called a blitz. I should have called out of it and left it with no safety over the top. All Mike Evans had to do was outrun Keith Taylor pretty much, and Brady saw it, and it's the GOAT. So, I mean, that I like that he has accountability. Matt Rule would actually point fingers at everybody else for why they lost but him. Like every week, he'd come to the podium and be like, well, the quarterback can't do this, or the quarterback can't fumble. Like when Cam came back, it's like, well, he don't really know most of the plays. What are you doing with him? Like, why is he even here? Like, why are you ruining it?
Never remember what happened either.
No.
Like,
yeah, I'll have to go back and look at the tape. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at the tape. I miss Dennis Cox's impressions of Matt Rule, man. Now we don't have Rule here no more. I don't get any fake Matt Rules from Dennis Cox over at WRAL. Speaking of that, if you see the scroll below, first of all, at 11 o'clock today, in about 10 minutes, we got exclusive interview with North Carolina A&T head football coach Vincent Brown, who was introduced this Monday. Me and Jaelen went over at the Student Center A&T. I like him. I like him a lot. Not your typical interview. So if you're an Aggie fan, definitely stick around for that. We get to know Coach Brown a little bit better.
Let me ask this. Is he going to lock down the triad? Is he going to lock down the triad?
I told him off camera, I was like, hey, man, you need to holler at me because Tobacco Road, we in deep with high school football down here, especially in Guilford and Forsyth. So if you're looking for that next kid, that 3-star, 4-star that can come in there and make some impact quickly, I got some ins with some programs over here. I can, we can get this done. He was like, okay, cool. So we're going to talk. I'm going to talk to him about that. And then, of course, real quick before we go, Wildcard weekend, we're going to do it rapid fire and let you guys pick. So let's go. We'll go back and forth, starting off with Jaelen. Saturday, January 14th, 4:30 p.m. on Fox. The 7th seed Seattle Seahawks at number 2 San Francisco. Who you got?
I got San Francisco. If Seattle matched up against anybody else, I'd have picked them to win their first round matchup. But
San Francisco,
I don't see them beating San Francisco.
San Francisco's weird because they have no quarterback, but they got everything else.
Purdy, man. Purdy.
He looking Purdy right now.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, Tom Brady 2.0. We're gonna see Brock Purdy on a stage in like a month, like with confetti everywhere. We're gonna be like, what the hell happened? What the hell happened in the NFL? Brandon, AFC Saturday night tonight, 8:15 p.m. 5th seed Los Angeles Chargers taking on the 4th seed Jacksonville Jaguars. That's actually a pretty interesting matchup there.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it an upset, man. I'm going Jags. I think they get it done. I'm not a believer in Justin Herbert. Don't think he took that next step he needed to this year.
Okay, so and the Chargers are weird. They won 11 games. The Chargers won 11 games this year.
Yeah, but they got the worst coach in the NFL.
I do like Trevor Lawrence. I've liked Trevor Lawrence since Clemson.
They hot right now. Zay Jones, North Carolina's own. I mean,
keep an eye on Jacksonville. I might actually watch that. Game's on NBC and Peacock tonight. Tomorrow, 1:00 p.m. AFC on CBS. 7th seed Miami taking on the 2 seed Buffalo at Buffalo. It's on CBS. I
got Buffalo about 40.
He gonna drop a 40 burger on Miami. Who's the quarterback of Miami going into this?
I think it's Skylar Thompson, 3rd string. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go with the Bills. Plus, what's the chances we get a DeMar Hamlin sighting? Because he's been released from the Buffalo
Might
hospital.
be on the sideline.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if he's there and they get that lift, I think Buffalo can ride this all the way to the Super Bowl. To be honest. So,
yeah, absolutely. Them and the Eagles. That would be my
same thing with the Eagles. And actually, Brandon, NFC 4:30 p.m. 6th seed New York Giants at number 3 Minnesota Vikings. That's on Fox and Fox Deportes. Who you got?
I got the Vikings. Everybody feels like the Giants is gonna go win that game. See, look at your face. Everybody
what time that kick, Des?
That is 4:30 tomorrow.
Thinks the Giants is gonna come in there and win that game.
You know how he get after 4:05.
I'm taking the Vikings.
After 4:05, he get.
I'm taking the Vikings.
Oh, Kurt?
I know.
Yeah, you know Kurt.
Yeah,
he turned to.
I know.
He go from the
down
prince.
33
He go from
to the Colts.
He go from the Prince of Egypt to the Pauper, baby.
I don't. There's something about the Vikings, man. Like we pulled the stat a week or two ago. The Minnesota Vikings defense is giving up more points than the offense, and they're like 12-5 or something like that going into this. That's kind of nuts. That could be a telltale sign, though. I would probably. It's at Minnesota, so
we're gonna turn into Quasimodo. What y'all gonna do there?
Jaelen, AFC 8:15 p.m. tomorrow night on NBC and Peacock. The 6th seed Baltimore Ravens at the number 3 seed Cincinnati Bengals. The team I told everyone don't trust 2 years in a row. I'm starting to trust them.
Yeah, I don't see us. We ain't got it. I don't think we're gonna have a formula, even though I think it'll be a closer game than a lot of people think.
Is it Tyler Huntley? Or I thought he was.
We gonna see.
Yeah, Joe Burrow.
I actually like Anthony Brown Jr. He pushed the ball down the field better than Tyler Huntley, but I don't think we're going. I think it'll be a closer game, probably like a 21-13 game. It ain't gonna be that bad.
I swear, I feel like this is gonna be perfect for Lamar to just suit up randomly. Like he's just gonna pop up and pay. He ain't practicing a month.
For what though?
No, I'm like he won't do it. He ain't gonna do that to his
No,
body.
if we had 8 out there, I don't think they would beat us at all.
Who? What? At Cincinnati?
At Cincinnati.
Nah, man.
Bro, y'all didn't watch the second half of the game. They had 290 yards of total offense the last game.
When was that played though? How long ago?
Last week. They had two. They played all of their. They played all of their starters. They played all of their starters and had.
I ain't betting against Joe Burrow. I'm sorry. I ain't betting against Joe
I
Burrow.
understand.
Right now.
I get it.
I just
They
can't.
scored-
Talk
they
about
scored-
La La Land.
They scored 16.
Yeah.
They scored 16 points the first game. Of
You
the
see
season,
how you
and
see
then
how
they
you say I'm
scored.
delusional about my
I get
team.
it's your squad. I get it's your squad. You rocking with your boys.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying their offense, the way we match up with them defensively. If you watch the game, they don't really do nothing. Anthony Brown threw 3 picks last week, both on our side of the 50, so the game was over. Like,
See how you do me? See how you do me? Whenever I talk to Panthers, I'm being delusional. But he talk about these Ravens like they can
bro,
beat
y'all
the
won
Eagles.
7 games for the first time in 4 years, bro. Please, relax.
Oh man,
Don't
no,
start with me.
your whole
About
team is
21.
Lamar Jackson and the Jackson.
21?
That's it.
You want to put some cheese on that?
Nah, hey, no cap, though, no cap.
You want to put some
Cincinnati
cheese
by
on
2
that, Brandon?
touchdowns. 2 touchdowns.
Oh,
Two
the Bengals?
touchdowns.
It won't be a 2-score
The
game.
Bengals
I
gonna win
promise
by
you.
2.
Okay,
It won't be a 2-score.
that'll be a
It won't be
friendly
a
bet.
2-score game.
Brandon
It's
will
the
owe you a
third
burger.
time y'all playing.
Brandon
Yeah.
will owe you a burger if that comes.
What you
through.
mean?
You owe him a burger if that comes through. The last one actually.
I deal in cash. Cash only.
We got about 3
Hey,
minutes.
betting is not legal in North Carolina. If you was in New York, my boy, we could talk. It ain't legal there.
Yeah, because we are on the radio. We can't. Yeah, we can't do that. Monday, January 16th, the nightcap Monday Night Football on ESPN and ABC, and the ESPN 2 Manning Cast, and ESPN Plus, and ESPN Deportes. The 5th seed Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott taking on Tom Brady, the GOAT, and the 4th seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll let y'all both pick that
Man.
one.
I call it upset. I think the boys gonna lose.
Yeah,
That's not an upset.
Tampa,
They're the lower
Tampa's
seed.
about to smack them, bro.
Tampa's-
We know it's an
Tampa's
upset. Nah, I know, but come on now.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
I'm trying to make myself feel better about
That was about to
this
get
Tampa
smacked,
team.
bro.
This Tampa team trash. I'm sorry, they are
Where
trash.
you
They've been
go?
trash all
Where
year.
you go?
Cowboys.
They have.
I
They've
think
been
they beat
trash
the
all
Cowboys.
year.
Yes, bro. How can you say they're trash when they're where you want to be?
Because we were trash too. The
And
whole
you
division
said
was
this
trash.
is where y'all were going to be because
Everyone was
y'all
trash.
weren't as
It
trash as
was
them.
unfortunate somebody had to win the NFC.
They weren't
South. I
supposed
agree.
to
It was
be
unfortunate.
trash, is my point. Everyone else had a reason. What was Tampa's reason for being trash this year?
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't score more than 17 points most of the year. Tom Brady missing Mike Evans like all year, like throwing behind him. They like they never played football together before.
Well,
Until
they
saw
didn't.
Carolina
They,
2 weeks
missing,
ago.
they started the season with a brand new center guard. So
That ain't my
let's be
fault.
real.
I mean,
It ain't about it
that
being your
excuse?
fault, but you asked
That's-
what was the reason. I
that's
gave you
the-
a reason. Now it's
that's
not
the
your
excuse.
fault.
So their offensive line was the reason.
You feel me, Brandon? You see what's
could-
going on with this
They
guy,
couldn't
man?
run the ball. I'm just
Where
saying.
Rod
they
at?
facts.
We need Rod here.
They couldn't run the ball.
This
I'm gonna
who we
bring Rod
need.
in next week. If Cowboys win, then Rod will be here next week.
Oh well, we won't see Rod for the next 4 months.
Nah, because they not winning that game. I'm sorry.
Really? Not just jumping off the Cowboys like that. They 12.
I never was
Coming
on
off.
them.
Coming off.
I don't think
I
they're
was
good.
walking. I was never.
I
on the side.
had Eagles. I had Washington above the Cowboys this year.
Nah,
when we
Washington
picked
above
preseason,
them.
I promise you, I had them picked. I said they'd finish better than them. Straight up.
Man, Dallas can win this football game.
Bro,
Matter
their
of fact-
quarterback
matter
has
of fact,
thrown.
Could,
Their
and
quarterback has
should.
thrown 16 interceptions in 12 games.
Y'all know Dak's struggling. Jerry Jones looking at that like, I gave this dude this money, and you
Struggling
gonna
is
come
not
out
the
and do this
word,
to me?
brother. He looked like he need to be starting for Carolina next year. That's what he looked
Hey,
like.
nah,
Like the
nah,
Monstars took
we'll
his
take that.
talent.
We'll take that.
You
Come
take
on here.
Dak?
Yeah, we take over Sam Darnold. Yes,
Brandon,
over
what's
Baker
going on?
Mayfield.
And Russell Wilson, man.
You
God,
know what I'm saying?
I want Russell Wilson.
Man.
No, it's the same person.
He done.
It's
Yeah.
the same person.
Nah. Russell Wilson done. Like whoever
Yes, bro.
inherits that Denver job,
You got to wipe the morning crust out your eyes, brother.
whoever inherits that morning job, or whoever inherits that Denver job and gets Russell Wilson, maybe Sean Payton. That I keep hearing that being rumored. But yeah, so we got our picks in. Hour number 2 here coming up in just a bit. Head coach North Carolina A&T head football coach Vincent Brown, nicknamed the Undertaker, has taken over in East Greensboro. I got an exclusive interview with him. We're about to hit that up here in just a bit. It was the rundown, WWBG 1470 AM and TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.